The obvious thing is to do a Mother's Day video. I just didn't want to do that Sunday morning, and I was real tired. Of course, it's Mother's Day. My mother's passed away. My wife's mother has passed away. But my wife is a mother, and my daughters are mothers. So it was actually a pretty good day. It was a good day at church. Got home, and I didn't really want to think about Mom. And I started listening to some music, and a song came on. And it reminded me of her. It reminded me of a story. Back in around 65, my mother had always been at home. I'd never been away from her more than a half a day probably in my life. But she had been gone the whole week for training in Atlanta. And we were driving to Atlanta late on Friday night to pick her up. And we were riding in the 1962 Pontiac Bonneville. No air, no seatbelts. I was in the back seat. My brother was in the front. I fell asleep. The roads back then weren't like they were today with a lot of lights and things. You just it was almost like going back roads to get to Atlanta. And my dad said, "Philip, wake up. There's Atlanta." I woke up. It was dark around, but in the distance, I could see the lights of Atlanta. And on the radio, Petula Clark was singing Downtown. I heard that song yesterday, and I remember this story. I miss my mom.